Today on Live on Lakeland, we have Peyton with information on the band concert, Amari with Project Aware, Madrox with helpful mental hygiene information, Luke with news on track, and finally Harrison celebrating Star Wars and May the 4th. Welcome back to another installment of Live on Lakeland. I'm your host, Madrox Selby.
And I'm your other host, Peyton Murphy.
And this is Live on Lakeland.
To start off our show for today, we have a question. What do James Bond, The Mandalorian, and Marvel all have in common? They're all part of the band concert. Not only that, but this is the first in-person show since last year. Band is a place where people can come together and make music. Usually, band concerts are open to the public, but ever since the beginning of COVID, all band concerts have been held virtually. Breaking the stretch, this year's spring concert will be held in person.
I'm Mr. Richter. I am the band director here at Lakeland Union High School. And so I'm in charge of the 3 bands that we have here.
The spring concert, being composed of themes from The Mandalorian, Marvel, and James Bond, is in person but has heavy restrictions imposed in light of COVID. We asked Mr. Richter for more information.
And we're going to spread out as best we can out here on stage and kind of provide a little extra room for everyone. If there are any students who are not feeling, or families who are not feeling comfortable, we're giving them a choice of that they can perform the concert at a different time.
Band is not only about the music, but it is also about the students. Since an in-person spring concert could be controversial, we asked some of the band members about their opinions.
At first, I was a little apprehensive just because I didn't want to get COVID and I didn't want to give other people COVID.
Personally, I am really excited because it'll just be nice to have one in-person concert to end out my senior year.
It was pretty difficult to be spread out, not being able to hear everybody as much. As people have started getting vaccinated and whatnot, we've been able to move back into the band room.
I do think the concert will be safe. We have been practicing safe measures in band all year.
I think it's a very good sign that things are going back to normal.
I've been kind of seeing like an upward trajectory of like a return to normalcy this year, and I'm trying to stay, I think everyone is trying to stay positive but realistic.
Band is a staple of the high school experience and unfortunately has been affected by COVID. Even still, an in-person band concert is a good sign of a return to normal life. The Pops concert will be on May 10th at 7 p.m. in the school auditorium.
Remember that the band concert will be on Monday, May 10th at 7 p.m. Peyton, are you aware of Project Aware?
No, I am not aware.
Well, you are now. Project Aware is an important resource that all students and staff should be aware of. Here's Amari to make us more aware of Project Aware.
Imagine your family's only car broke down. You have a therapy appointment and now you're having trouble getting to your appointments. That's where Project Aware steps in. Project Aware helps students access these resources when they have problems that are out of their control. This is Mr. Adam Nowak with more information on what Project Aware does for our school.
Project Aware is a federal and state-funded grant that was afforded to our 5 schools in the Lakeland area. Specifically, it's a mental health grant that is set up to design systems for mental health services to be provided here in the school setting.
Mr. Nowak highlights the common obstacles that may be preventing these students access to mental health resources.
Well, the hope of Project Aware is to make access for mental health services more accessible to you guys. A lot of the barriers that we do see in mental health services are transportation. The responsibilities that you guys have after school can sometimes be a barrier for you guys getting to and from appointments. And also, if mom or dad or yourself don't have transportation to and from these appointments, how do you get there? Let's make that access a little bit easier by providing these services in the school setting.
Mr. Nowak and his team's goal is to help improve the school setting and climate, bringing support to students and making sure the students are comfortable in their school environment.
Our goal is to make this climate and this school culturally responsive to you guys and make sure that you're comfortable in the environment that we have set up for your education.
Students' mental health isn't just being helped by Project Aware, it's being helped by many others who work alongside those involved in Project Aware. This is Mr. Grossman, the school social worker. He helps by making students aware of the resources we have available here.
Students have real-time access to mental health care in our building. The Project Aware program works with Lakeland Area Consortium to provide mental health services in our building, and works with the family to make sure that obstacles to care are removed.
Mr. Grossman focuses on why Project Aware is important for our school and the Lakeland community, why it's helpful for families and students with or without the pandemic.
Well, even if we weren't in a pandemic, there would be a need for mental health services.
Mr. Grossman continues to state that around 20% of students deal with a mental health issue, but the most important thing is that students miss less school because counseling services are offered in-house. If you have any questions, please contact Mr. Adam Nowak or your school counselor.
Now, I am very aware of Project Aware. If you have any more questions, contact Mr. Nowak in Student Services or your school counselor. Did you know that if you are taking care of your physical hygiene, you are already taking the first steps to taking care of yourself? As long as we're on the topic of mental health, here's Madrox with tips for mental hygiene.
Mental health is a big topic of conversation in today's society, especially when talking about high school-age teens. The most common things said about it usually relate to how to fix mental health or all the issues people have with their mental health. This is a little different. Very similar to mental health, there's mental hygiene. Mental hygiene is things you do to keep your mental health in check. I want to share this important information on what mental hygiene is, how to take care of it, and why it is so important, so we can all be more proactive about our mental health. To find out more about exactly what mental hygiene is, I interviewed Mr. Bremer and Ms. Vendel, asking for more details on what it is.
I'm Sadie Vendel. I'm one of the school counselors here at Lakeland. My role for students and their mental health is to be an advocate for them. Our mental hygiene, I think, would involve self-care, involve time to reflect on ourselves, sleep. I think sleep is something that we often overlook as being a key part to mental health and physical health.
So my name is Adam Bremer. I'm a school psychologist intern here at Lakeland Union High School. Intern because I'm in my first year of practice, and technically I'm still in school, much like our students here. Mental hygiene, I love that word hygiene because I think it's accessible to people. When we talk about physical hygiene, people think about, taking care of themselves, washing regularly, getting good food, those kind of things. And mental hygiene is very much the same way.
It's very helpful to know what mental hygiene is, but why is it so important? Taking care of ourselves seems like common sense, yet the reasons we do it aren't so clear. It's just what we're supposed to do. For insight into this question, I asked Ms. Vendel and Mr. Bremer.
Physical health and mental health go hand in hand. And again, that's one thing that's overlooked. So when someone who is struggling from depression doesn't take care of their physical health, the depression is likely to only increase.
I'm a firm believer that mental health and physical health are tied together. They're not mutually exclusive, meaning that they don't happen independently of each other. They're completely tied together. All you have to do is think about when you don't feel good. It's really easy to remember the other times where you don't feel good, and a lot of times that kind of makes us feel down or blue.
We know what mental hygiene is, but how do we do it? Mr. Bremer's and Ms. Vendel's answers are more complicated than you may first think. It's a question that has a different answer for different people. Not only that, but it's a skill that can be improved.
Ways to take care of mental hygiene or self-care really varies per person. So you have to figure that out for yourself. What are the coping skills that work for you? What are your areas of passion or interest?
For teenagers, one of the ones I talk about because it's really neglected is sleep is critical. Our mental functioning is heavily impaired by not getting enough sleep.
I personally learned a lot about how to take care of mental hygiene and just how important it is. On a final important note, remember that if you are struggling with your own mental hygiene, or even if you just want to talk about mental hygiene, you can always talk to your parents, school administration, a counselor like Ms. Vendel or Mr. Bremer. There are many places to go if you or somebody you know is going through something.
Remember the value of your health, including mental and physical.
Once again, please reach out if you or somebody you know is having struggles with mental hygiene. Let's keep things moving. Now we sprint over to Luke for his view on the LUHS track team.
On your mark, get set, go. LUHS track athletes are just about ready for the start of their season.
I interviewed Coach Drusen, the head coach of the track team, about how they are preparing for the beginning of their season.
But we've had some contact days where we've met, most of the team met as a team, and we were able to do some workouts. We've done some weightlifting, some like body weight strengthening.
As the team prepares for this season, they set their minds on some goals that they might have. Aside from preparing for the season, I asked Coach Drusen and some of the students what they're looking to accomplish this season.
This season, I'm looking to accomplish going to state and getting the pole vault school record.
This season, the goal is conference, just to be a competitive team, just get better and improve from last year.
Well, our goal would be to win conference or to do as well as we can at conference. Score as many points as possible at conference. So getting the kids to all chip in and do their part so the team is successful at conference. And then getting as many people on to sectionals and state as possible.
These athletes and coaches put in a lot of work and have their eyes set on their goals. They are on a race to the finish line.
Good luck to all the hardworking track members out there. Before we finish up our show, we have Luke with our LOL lull.
What is the internal temperature of a tauntaun?
What?
Lukewarm.
Thank you for that wonderful joke, Luke.
You're welcome.
To finish off our show, we have a segment from a long time ago in a galaxy far, far away. Here's Harrison with our featured story, a look at the staff celebrating May the 4th, Star Wars Day.
The first Star Wars movie came out in theaters on May 25th, 1977. However, the date that many have deemed Star Wars Day is May 4th. On this day, many different channels on TV will likely be airing more Star Wars content than usual. In addition to this, many longtime Star Wars fans will be sitting down with their families and binge-watching all the Star Wars movies and TV shows that they could desire. Some dedicated fans may even dress up for the day. Even here at Lakeland, we have several staff members who are longtime fans of the series, so I interviewed a few of them on their experience with Star Wars.
I am Mr. Justin Zeus, and I am the principal at Lakeland Union High School.
Well, I'm Mike Mistel. I'm a social studies teacher.
I am Mr. Lottie. I'm an associate instructor here in the Journey Room.
Mr. Zeus went to see the very first Star Wars movie in theaters as a kid, and he's been a big fan of the series ever since.
And I didn't go to too many movies when I was a kid, but I remember my mom taking me to this one at a theater in Wausau and thinking it was so cool to see it. And then from that point forward, I was hooked.
Mr. Mistel also was a huge fan of Star Wars back when the first movie released, and even saw the movies in theaters multiple times.
Well, I think the big thing that I can remember about seeing Star Wars for the first time were the special effects. They were pretty mind-blowing back in 1977. I was 11 years old. My two brothers, myself, and then two other friends of my brother. Well, we came out of that theater so excited and pumped up, and we spent the whole rest of the summer being Star Wars guys.
Mr. Lottie was also a big Star Wars fan back in the 80s.
Probably 86, 87. I got an action figure set. It was in the 3CPO container. It was 3CPO head, and you open it and it had all the characters lined up. Star Wars is something that kind of reaches to everyone, especially the fans of Star Wars, for the simple fact that it's kind of relatable. It tells the story of the conflict between good and evil and the internal conflict that each one of us kind of go through.
Star Wars as a series still has a strong fan base that were around to see the original movies. However, the movies and TV series are still attracting newer, younger fans today. One of the things that sets Star Wars apart from other movies is that one can really enjoy it at any age and still be mesmerized.
Star Wars kind of transcends generations. I've been to Star Wars movies where there's people in their 70s and 80s. There's people that are 6, 8, 10 years old, all enjoying the movie.
Star Wars Day is a fun day for all fans of Star Wars. Even though this is a day late, may the 4th be with you.
That is all we have today, folks. Remember to stay hydrated, and don't forget, daily announcements are now virtual and can be found on the LUHS Media Production YouTube channel. I'm Madrox Selby.
And I'm Peyton Murphy.
And this is Live on Lakeland. Have a great day, T-Birds.